Hey guys, what's up? This is Ed here, and today I wanted to talk about the Warriors' last six games, the back-to-back with the Timberwolves, the Suns game, the Pistons game, the Celtics, and the Mavericks, right? The first two games, so let me talk about the record first. They were 4-2 in the first in these six games, and you might be like, okay, that's good, but now, like if you actually looked at those games the first two games in the Timberwolves, it should not have been close, right? But now you might be saying that, well, they blew the Timberwolves out in the first game. What the hell are you talking about? If you actually watch the game, it was pretty close. It was in the single digits for the fourth quarter, and the Timberwolves were making their run, right? But Beasley had a huge game offensively, and then it took a Steph flurry to really put the game away. That should not have happened, right? As amazing it was to see that, it should not have happened. Now, Wiggins had a solid game. I think Oubre also had a solid game, and I'm not gonna complain about that, right? But the lackadaisicalness of the bench, especially, right, when Damian Lee comes in, Eric Pascal comes in, that really hurt the Warriors. Wiseman had a decent first game, right? It wasn't too bad coming off the bench. I think he had double digits, like 13 or 12 points or something like that. I'm not exactly too sure, but overall, this kind of worried me in that game that our bench gave up a huge lead, and it took the starters to come, like it took the starters for them to actually win the game. No D'Lo for the Timberwolves, right, for that game, and no Cat, and you play like this right here. If they play like this with the two of them in the game, the Timberwolves would have won. Let's be honest. The Timberwolves would have won, right? Um, Cat would have crashed the offensive rebound with the way that the Warriors were playing. D'Lo would have gotten buckets anywhere from the court, and that's just my honest opinion about it. And the same thing goes for the second game. Now the Warriors and the Timberwolves couldn't buy the bucket for like a first few minutes in the game. Oubre was in foul trouble for most of the game, so it really took Bazemore to come off the bench to really start getting the offense going. And then Wiseman came in, and he had like three threes and or like two threes in the first few minutes or something like that, and that really got me hype because we've seen him struggle a little bit in the 3 point area, and he's not really supposed to do that. He came in, hit huge shots. Um, and I think Steph was fine. He did struggle a lot, and then he had that little moment in the third quarter where he got going. That's fine. Wiggins, he did fine. Oubre, he I believe he had a career high in a quarter, like 16 points, and I thought he was gonna get his first 30 piece there. It turns out, no, he was never gonna get that. He did end up with 20, right? Nothing too bad, nothing too good. Well, it's Oubre, so never mind. It's very good for him. Draymond was being Draymond everywhere, so that's fine. Looney, I think he had double digit rebounds, and I think that really helped us to win that rebounding aspect of the game. Now, as for the Timberwolves, this has to be like a huge boost. Even though they lost those two games, that had to be a huge boost, saying that, well, we were in the games, we were in both of the games, right? We were playing really hard. Anthony Edwards, I think he had 25 in the second game, and I think out of in this whole draft class, him and LaMelo have the most potential, right? While Wiseman will be groomed by the Warriors to play the right way, Edwards and LaMelo have the most potential to grow. That's my take. As a Warriors fan, what I want Wiseman to win the Rookie of the Year, but if you're actually looking at the NBA, I think LaMelo and Edwards really have a good chance of winning it. And don't forget about Tyrese Halliburton too. All right, but that's not the point. Now against the Suns game, Steph had a good game. Everyone else had a bad game, right? And that kind of kind of made me angry because we can never get a win streak of more than 2 games. Like, what's up with that? And I compiled all of the games in which Steph had a points, rebounds, double double. There were 4 of them. The Warriors are 1-3 in those 4 games. And in those like in the majority of the games they get out rebounded, right? And Steph rebounds, and Steph shouldn't be rebounding the most out of everyone. It should be Wiseman, Looney, and Draymond, and Pascal. Right? I don't know why this keeps on happening, but the Warriors keep on giving up the rebounds. Now it doesn't help that DeAndre Ayton was being guarded by smaller players like Kevon Looney, Eric Pascal, and he kept on getting the offensive rebound. I believe he had 4 offensive rebounds. He had 12 points and 13 rebounds, but his impact was felt by the Suns. Jay Crowder, he was doing great. Cam Johnson, Chris Paul, Mikal Bridges, everyone played their own role, right? My one question is, how did Frank Kaminsky get a near triple double off the bench? I know, like, I've got to give him props for that, and he did good. He hurt the Warriors, but how? Like, this has to be a slap in the face for the Warriors to let Frank Kaminsky get a near triple double. He had like 12 points and 13 rebounds and 8 assists. Abdel Nader, he had 16 points, hit huge threes in the fourth quarter to really put the game away. Langston Galloway, I think he's a good acquisition for them, and he played pretty well. Etwan Moore, right, Mr. Floater, he only had 2 points, but I think he's a good piece for the Suns, right? And keep in mind, Devin Booker was not playing in this game, so that has to be a double slap in the face for the Warriors. And then let's talk about the Pistons game. Everyone played well on the Warriors. It was really good to see Klay Thompson on the commentators, on the commentating side. I believe he also roasted Rodney McGruder, which was funny. And that was the highlight of the game, right? I know everyone played well. I know Kelly did his thing, Steph did his thing, Andrew did his thing, and everyone was fine, right? But you can't really take away anything from this game because this is a Pistons team that was struggling. Blake with no legs, and it was really Jeremy Grant who was their main offensive weapon, and he couldn't get anything going. Wayne Ellington, who I believe had a streak of like 4 3-pointers in the past 7 games prior to that game, and he was 0 for 4 from 3. Jordan Poole had a really good game off the bench. I believe he had 16 points. That was a much needed performance from him, right? And that was his like farewell game to the G League, and that was much needed. I believe Wiseman sprained his wrist or something like that, and he's gonna miss a lot of time. And then against the Celtics, right? The Warriors come out firing, right? Steph, Oubre, Andrew, everyone was getting on their act. And then the bench comes in the game, and the lead suddenly goes away. And I want to point this out. Daniel Tice and Tristan Thompson are both very strong, right? So why would Eric Pascal try to attack them? That's my one question. I think Pascal should have played the facilitator role, more facilitating in this game. I think he could have. He's a pretty underrated facilitator, right? We saw that in the previous season. And I think he should have done that. And that's how he should have gotten his shots, right? Through the ball movement, not through his ISO play. I didn't actually watch the game because I was out. I was out with my family, and we were hearing on the radio, and Tim Roy was like, "Well, he should have tried to facilitate. He should try to move the ball a little bit more instead of his ISO mid-range game." And that's one thing that stood out to me. Toscano Anderson, he played really well, right? He played really well. He had a career high tying 16 points or something like that. And he was gritty, right? Him and Bazemore, they weren't afraid of the moment. And then another gut punch happens. Looney goes down, right? And this is when the Celtics have all of the momentum, and he sprains his ankle. So he's going to be out for the next few games, and the Warriors are down to 9 players. And I don't think they can call anyone from the G League because I believe it is the G League playoffs right now. And going to this Dallas game, I thought Dallas was just going to take it, right? They have KP, who I think should have gone to the post a lot more. But somehow the Warriors blew them out. It looked like in the first quarter that the Dallas was going to take the game. I think they were leading 11-5 early in the game, and Luka was getting going. And Draymond and Toscano Anderson really brought them back into the game and really helped take them the lead. And then it was looking like Dallas was going to take the game in the second quarter too, right? You saw Jalen Brunson get open for 3, Tim Hardaway Jr. It was a shootout. No team was playing defense, and for the Warriors to be in the game like that, that was impressive as it is. Now I know Dallas was like is 14th in the league right now, and you're gonna be like, well, I mean they're 14th seed, right? But this has to be the biggest gut punch for them. This has to be the biggest gut punch for them. I believe they were 18 of 36 from three at one point in the game, and then they went 1 for 7 in the second part of the game. And I guess the law of averages played out for them, in the sense that they are the worst 3-point shooting in the league, and the averages played out in the Warriors' favor at the end. Everyone who was on the Warriors played great. Draymond with a double-double, 11 points, 15 assists. Steph with 28 points. Wiggins, he did struggle in the first half, but he got going in the second half. Damian Lee, 17 points. Brad Wanamaker, 3 steals. Michael Mulder, he hit huge threes in the game. Let's talk about the man of the game. Kelly Oubre. No, sorry, Kelly Troubre Jr., right? And this was his coming out game. I wanted to see a hair whip coming from him. He kept the Warriors in the game in the second quarter, right? His huge threes, huge mid-range shots. He kept on attacking the rim, and it was good to see that. And then when I saw that he was really close to a 30-point game, I really, me and my dad were very hype for that. And then he goes out like this, and he gets 40. A career high 40. Congratulations to him, right? He played really well. I'm not gonna say that, oh, we were expecting this from him, but I think this was gonna be his coming out game. He had 7 threes, which I didn't think was damn possible, or damn near possible, and that was great to see. It aside for the sore eyes, if we get a performance like this from him, we'll take it. We'll take it for granted. We will take it as a team. Steph with his usual 28 points, right? And he was efficient. Now, I think Dallas might win this next game against the Warriors because I don't think they will let the Warriors do the same ball movement, right? And I think they'll go to KP even more. I forgot to mention about Toscano Anderson, by the way, in his overall 14 points and his defensive impact. Now, I know he didn't lock down Luka, right? But he was guarding him and he was pressuring him to take tough shots. And I was really impressed by that. Draymond, he kept on extra aggressive from in the field, and he was moving the ball. And that was a really good sight to see for all of the Warriors. Now, against Dallas again, right? The back-to-back. I think the Warriors keep on, they have to move the ball. They have to move it around, move it fast, because the defense cannot keep up with the ball moving around like that, right? In the first few possessions, or the first 15, 20 minutes of the game, they might be able to do that, but then their legs get eventually worn out. Everyone needs to be big off the bench, right? They only have 4 bench players, so there's no margin of error for them. So they just need to take they need to take whatever they can, right? And try to box out, right? I know it's going to be a tall task because now There is no legitimate big man. So they need to box out, get the rebound, and try to do whatever they can, right? Force Porzingis to shoot from outside. I know he made like a couple of huge ones in the third quarter, but I think they should make him live from there rather from the post, right, where he can get the rebound. That and that gives the Warriors a good chance to win. So that's it for today. Um, if you like this video, go ahead and like it down below. Click the notifications bell. Subscribe to my channel. Go ahead and share my videos with others and comment down below your views about this. Until then, see you next time.